DC Studios' intentions for Superman and who won't be coming back has been confirmed by James Gunn. Henry Cavill's Superman comeback dominated conversation both in the months leading up to and shortly after the introduction of Black Adam. Warner Brothers introduced James Gunn and Peter Safran as co-CEOs of the newly renamed DC Studios, where they'll plan the direction of the DC Universe. Days after Cavill revealed his return on social media, however, it appears he officially won't be returning to the role anymore. But why? Also, who could potentially take his place? Let's take a look. First up, actor Henry Cavill has revealed he will not be returning to the Superman role. But why? When British actor Henry Cavill recently announced he would no longer be wearing the red cape as the iconic Superman in the DC Comics Extended Cinematic Universe, DC fans all over the world were in shock and saddened by the news. Because Cavill had already said in October that he would be returning as the Man of Steel, many were taken aback. In a mid-credits sequence at the end of the DC film Black Adam, which also starred Dwayne Johnson, Cavill played Superman. The British producers, Peter Safran and James Gunn, who in October were designated co-chairman and chief executive officers of DC Studios, met with Cavill. According to a post the actor made on Instagram, "I will, after all, not be returning as Superman," the actor wrote. He continued, "After being told by the studio to announce my return back in October, prior to their hire, this news isn't the easiest, but that's life." Following that, Gunn started answering questions from fans, reiterating, among other things, that he's been working on a Superman movie for a while and that it won't be an origin narrative. The announcement on Wednesday also comes from Cavill left The Witcher, a Netflix series in which he has 3 seasons of acting experience. Liam Hemsworth, an actor, will take his place. Warner Brothers and DC Entertainment personnel have been contacted by CNN. Gunn and Safran have been examining the studio's calendar of projects ever since they were hired, and a few of their decisions have recently attracted media attention. Speaking of Superman, who will take over the role? Finally, Henry Cavill's run as Superman is done. He returned in Black Adam, and Warner Brothers Discovery urged him to confirm that he was officially back as Clark Kent. But that was before James Gunn and Peter Safran took over as DC Studios' new executives. The latest information surrounding Henry Cavill's potential replacement as Superman shows that they intend to reinvent the whole DC universe with the two in charge. People are now speculating about who might play James Gunn's next Superman now that Henry Cavill is out of the picture. Being that this is a young Clark Kent, taller performers with excellent physiques would be preferred. Therefore, Matt Bomer and other people in their late 30s and 40s, as well as previous decisions, are out of the running. The following options could be used in place of Henry Cavill. First up, in no particular order, Liam Hemsworth. As of right now, the youngest Hemsworth sibling has yet to be successful in landing a massive mainstream role, unlike his older brother. However, things could get a lot better for him very shortly. It was revealed only recently that he took over as The Witcher from Henry Cavill. So could he now perform the same actions as Superman? Now, he would be an ideal choice since he's still pretty young and built like a giant. Also, in The Expendables 2, he demonstrated amazing promise and has a body that would make Superman proud. Consequently, let's hope that he'll be chosen to replace the Man of Steel. Next up, Jacob Elordi. This Australian actor perfectly embodies a young Superman. In the films The Kissing Booth and Euphoria, he displayed his talent. He'd be ideal for Gunn's plan at only 25 years old. He also has a beautiful Superman face, is 6 feet 4 inches tall, and is one of the fittest kids around. Although he might need to gain more muscle, that might be done in the upcoming months. What about Jonathan Majors? Could Jonathan Majors be the next pick for a cinematic Superman? It would be an interesting acting challenge for the actor, who already portrays time-traveling bad guy Kang the Conqueror, to add DC's most potent hero to his resume. Majors did a fantastic job portraying Kang's loopy villain, but he typically plays sensitive dramatic leads in films like Lovecraft Country and The Last Black Man in San Francisco. Next up, Austin Butler. With his portrayal of Elvis, he's managed to capture the essence of one of America's greatest heroes. But the 32-year-old would make a wonderful Superman if you ask us. At 5'11", he may not be the tallest, but his acting is up to par, and while he would need to bulk up, he certainly has the stage presence that's needed to dominate this role. However, he's currently in high demand due to his work on Dune Part 2, so Gunn and company would need to move quickly. Could Aaron Taylor Johnson take over the iconic role? If you believe the rumors and speculation, Aaron Taylor Johnson is now being considered for the role of the next James Bond, but he might also play Superman. Despite having a somewhat off-Russian accent, he had a strong scene presence and performed admirably in Marvel's Age of Ultron. He played Kick-Ass in the superhero picture Kick-Ass, which undoubtedly imitated James Gunn's eccentric direction. His age of 32 is acceptable, but at 5 foot 10 inches, there are bigger actors on our list who would have a better shot. What about Henry Golding? Since Crazy Rich Asians, Henry Golding has has been adored by viewers all over the globe. He received no benefits from his work with Snake Eyes, but if he's chosen to be the next Man of Steel, he might turn things around. He is, after all, another tall, attractive man who has the potential to be a cool Superman. The only factor that might not be in his favor is his age. He's currently 35 years old, and by the time the upcoming Superman film, he'll be between 37 and 38. He still had the appearance of a young Superman, but his age could get him rejected. Next up, Michael B. Jordan. A while back, it was revealed that Michael B. Jordan will be playing Superman in a film made by J.J. Abrams and directed by Ta-Nehisi Coates. Although it's still being determined whether or not this will occur under the new DC executives, we would want him to take advantage of the chance to succeed Superman. Although he may not be as tall as some of the others on the list at 5'10", he is one of the best actors working today and would add much-needed gravitas to the part. He is, however, unquestionably at the older end of this ranking at 35. What about Richard Madden? Richard Madden has enjoyed success as a darker version of Superman in Marvel's Eternals, but after Game of Thrones finished, he hasn't taken on any other significant superhero or franchise roles. In a society where someone like him couldn't last very long, his portrayal of Robb Stark in the popular HBO series served as an example of goodness. Since then, Madden has also portrayed a Disney prince in the live-action Cinderella, further solidifying his acting technique and preparing him to portray a character as sympathetic and endearing to him as Superman. Now, Taron Egerton could be a potential replacement, and a great one at that. Due to his appearances in the Kingsman movies and Rocket Man, Taron Egerton is a huge celebrity. Although he hasn't played any superhero roles as of yet, fans are eagerly anticipating his arrival in the MCU or DCEU at some point. The Kingsman films were a huge hit thanks to Egerton's panache and charisma, and even though there may not be many more in the works, his career won't be affected. At the age of 32, he may put in a long term as Superman in the DC universe. His unique ability to make intrinsically decent characters have a touch more humor to them is key in making the next Superman a tremendous success. Egerton will soon land one of these parts, whether as Kal-El or another significant character from a comic book franchise. If given a role similar to Superman, he may become one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. Next up, Finn Wittrock. In addition to having the traditional Superman look, Finn Wittrock has been keeping himself busy for the past 10 years with a number of serious acting assignments. Now that he has a strong filmography, it's time to consider his potential future. He's still young enough at 37 to take on a significant position for the new DC universe, like Superman, and establish himself as their leader moving ahead. Wittrock has expertise in many other genres, but has yet to enter the superhero game. Regardless of whether DC is seeking someone with acting experience comparable to The Big Short, Judy, and Ratchet. Next up, Matt Bomer. Matt Bomer, another actor who Superman fans have long imagined playing the role of, came very close to landing the role 15 years ago. Matt Bomer was one of the last finalists for the part opposite Brandon Routh when Superman Returns was cast. Bomer was passed over for the part at the time for a variety of reasons, but he's still young enough to portray Superman as an established figure in a fresh DC universe. He's undoubtedly qualified for the part and ended up portraying Superman in Superman Unbound. And finally, Adam DeMarco. Once again, the incredible The White Lotus is to thank for bringing this actor to our attention. Despite the questionable behavior of his White Lotus persona, Adam DeMarco has the likability factor down pat, and despite only standing 5'11" tall, could easily pull off the heroics. Additionally, he would adore it if he once again collaborated with Haley Lou Richardson, Portia in White Lotus, who would make a fantastic Lois Lane. Can you imagine that? Unfortunately, guys, that is all the time we have for today. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and as always, thanks for watching.